If you're considering moving to Boise, Idaho, this is going to be the video you must watch before making that decision, because we're going to dive into everything Boise, Idaho today. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Living in Boise, Idaho. I'm your host, Naseem Eissa. As you can see, that's how you spell it. It's not as complicated as it sounds, I promise. But today we're going to be covering all things Boise. We're going to be talking about the pros, the cons, the things to do. And if you guys have any questions that I don't answer in the video, make sure you guys leave your comments below so that I can get back to you. So now, Boise, Idaho is the capital of the state of Idaho. As far as where Boise is located, it is in southwest Idaho within the Big Potato State. And the county that it is located in is called Ada County. It's also known within the Treasure Valley. That's another nickname that they call it. But as far as where the location is, if you look at a clock and you look at Idaho, Boise is about between 7 to 8 p.m., somewhere around there, just to pinpoint where Boise is in the state of Idaho. Now, Boise is the most populated city. It does have a huge population. It's not a huge city like Denver or Las Vegas or any of the bigger cities as far as that sense, but it is a big city in the state of Idaho. So average commute time in Idaho is actually below the national average. I believe we're sitting at about 27 minutes now, and the national average is a couple minutes above that. So it's pretty easy to get where you need to. There is traffic as far as like the 5 p.m. traffic and even morning time Monday through Friday. If you consider, early workers such as 7 a.m. through 8 a.m., kind of early time to drive, there may be a little bit of traffic around those times as well. But as far as commute time nationally ranking wise, it is below the average, so it's not too bad. So now, as far as entertainment in Boise, Idaho, there's so much to do. Truthfully, if you can imagine a place where you get 4-season weather, you have sports, you have, and we're not talking professional, but we do have Boise State University, which the football program here is amazing. It's if you can catch a game, I highly recommend it, because it's just so much energy in the stands. It's not a Big 12 team, but for Mountain League, it is a freaking great environment to be in, and it's just a good time to come out and enjoy a game, especially on a Saturday night. Outside of the football games, you also have downtown Boise. Now, downtown Boise, if you are into breweries, wine, just being around people, or just trying some different areas as far as food, or maybe checking out the Freak Gallery, which is basically an area where a lot of artists go and paint on buildings within downtown Boise, and just some amazing crafting and just masterpieces that are actually put up on these walls as you walk through this alley. And then you have your outdoor recreational activities, which basically you have anything from trail riding to fishing to snowboarding and skiing, skateboarding, longboarding along the Greenbelt trails. There's just so much to do as far as entertainment wise. Movie theaters, you have Topgolf, which is actually in Meridian, but that did just get built in the suburbs of Boise if you're into golfing. And then the golf courses within Boise itself are also super beautiful. You have great mountain views. I know you can't see it so much in the background here, but just the mountains are spectacular. The nature that Boise has to offer overall attracts a lot of people from all over the world. So I think truthfully, the amount of things that you can do in Boise is what attracting so many people to move this way. And man, you really just can't beat the city of Boise. Now, another aspect of entertainment that I want to talk about today is going to be the nightlife. Now, the nightlife scene, if you're not too big into it, don't worry, you can skip this a little bit or just play your way through it. But if you are interested in nightlife, now most clubs here or bars are open pretty late, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They do events throughout the week as well. But as far as the bar scene or the club scene, it's not a huge presence in Boise. You do have a couple of clubs such as Strange Love, Dirty Roddy's, and I think there's a couple more that I'm missing here. I know I'm missing them here, but as far as getting in, there's no entry fees, there's nothing of that nature, unless it's like special event going on that night or like bar crawls or things of that nature. But they're all relatively close to each other, so you could get away with walking 5 minutes and probably hit every bar as far as downtown Boise. Now, if you're not into the bar scene or the club scene, then you can at least get into the bars, where they do have a bunch of breweries, as I stated earlier, and wineries that you can enjoy at night. And those are all around Boise and just downtown in general as well. Now, economy wise, as far as job opportunities, there is a bunch of jobs, and jobs continue to grow as Boise continues to grow as well in the business industry. There's a lot of bigger companies such as Simcoe growing. Facebook just landed in Nampa. They have a Meta warehouse. Jim Reapers just opened up a warehouse in Nampa as well. So just around the Boise area, a lot of bigger companies are joining in the suburbs of Boise. I believe the average for job employment wise, health and education, we're at 11.1% of jobs within Boise. So if you're into the education or health career fields, Boise is pretty much the spot for you, because this is such a heavy dependent career in the city of Boise. So as far as the school district, there is the Boise School District inside of the city of Boise, which if you guys would like resources or links as far as that aspect, feel free to reach out to me and I can shoot you over a couple of links to help you look more into the school links and things of that nature. All right guys, and just before I dive into the pros and cons, I did want to add in that I am a licensed real estate agent here in the city of Boise, Idaho, and all surrounding areas. So if you are looking at purchasing a home, I would love to be the one to assist you. Here's my phone number down below. I am the one that answers the calls and text messages. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. All right, guys. So now with all that being thrown at you, which was probably a lot, we're going to dive into the pros and cons of living in Boise, Idaho. Walking around Boise, a lot of people are pretty friendly, and it's kind of weird. For me personally, I came from California when I originally enlisted in the Air Force, and you know, just going around Boise, everyone was so nice. They always said hello as I walked by, or excuse me, and things of that nature. Now that doesn't happen with everyone, but for the most part, people in Boise are pretty friendly, and it's just a nice environment to be in. Now, another pro, I kind of discussed it earlier, but it is a lower commute as far as traffic and things of that nature. So I'm not going to dive too much into it because we discussed it earlier, but that is another pro. Another pro we kind of discussed already, which I'm also not going to dive right back into, which is the low unemployment rate. So as I said, the economy is thriving and it is only getting better. So as far as the economy for Boise, we're going to give that a plus. I feel like I talked about the pros a little bit. So another pro that I discussed a little bit and dove into was the variety of outdoor activities. So I'm gonna dive a little deeper into it. So as far as what you can do outdoor recreational wise is you have hot springs, you have Bogus Basin, which is one of the ski resorts that you can hit for snowboarding, skiing, and tubing. You have a couple of parks that you can hit, Lucky Peak Park, where you can go take your boat out and have a good time, or if you go water tubing or love water sports during the summer, it's a great time to go and hit the water, and there's multiple areas you can hit. Or if you like to fish, there's a lot of fishing spots in Boise as well. Not to only mention that there's also amazing biking trails on the Greenbelt, as I discussed earlier, and there's just so much you can do as far as that. And there's also, for those of you that may be into semi-pro football or things of that nature, they do have a semi-pro football league called the Idaho Contact Football League, which I personally participated in because, let's be honest, the football dream never dies, right? We still like to go out there, hang with the guys, and have some fun. Now, I did talk about this as well. I feel like I may have hit all the pros already because I get so excited about talking about Boise, but the huge food, brewery, and winery, just the selection that you can go to. There's Barrel 13 for breweries. There's just some amazing food spots. One of the personal food spots that I actually like, I don't know if you guys like sushi if you're watching this, but there's a spot in downtown called Yoitomo. I didn't used to be a sushi guy. I went there for the first time when I first got here, and their fried sushi, amazing. They have unlimited sushi and things of that nature, so it's absolutely spectacular. Highly recommend it if you're into sushi, but there's just a lot of cool spots like that within Boise around the food and brewery scenes. So as you can see behind me, another pro or con, depending on how you look at it, as you can see behind me, there's literally snow and ice on the ground. Ice, not so much a fan of, but the snow, I can deal with that. 4 types of seasonal weather here. You do get all 4 seasons in the city of Boise, Idaho. You'll get hit with the snow, you'll get hit with the rain, you'll get hit with the spring weather, you get hit with the summer weather, you get hit with the fall weather, and then you get hit with the winter weather. So you do get all 4 seasons. Now, like I said, it could be a pro for some of you, it could be a con, but if you're into outdoor recreational activities and you can enjoy both summer and winter activities, then Boise is perfect for you. Now, this is a personal favorite for me. This is the biggest pro in my books. It may not relate to so much as many of you viewers, but Boise is huge. As far as the fitness environment, it's actually one of the healthiest cities or most fit cities in the nation. So Boise is huge on fitness. There's some amazing gyms here that many people from around the world come out to check out. So overall, Boise is a very fit city. So if you're into exercise and fitness and wellness, this is definitely the place for you. Now, there's 2 cons that I really want to talk about. So one of those are going to be the increase of population growth in the city of Boise. So as I stated earlier, so many people are moving to the city of Boise and in Idaho in general, just because of the laid back politics. It's conservative here. It's not a lot of crazy stuff going on here. Crime rates are pretty low. You can look into that as well. There's some resources I can send you. But as far as Idaho itself, a lot of people are loving what it has to offer. as far as cleanliness and politics and low crime rates and just things of that nature. So Idaho is growing due to that, and for some people it's a problem because they like their space, and some people they love it because they love people. So it could be a con or it could be a pro, but with that comes a true con, which is the increased cost of living. So as more people come in, the population and housing market is going to have a higher increase of supply and demand, right? So there's going to be less supply and more demand as more people grow in the city of Boise, and that's just kind of going to continue to pump the numbers up as far as housing markets, groceries, things of that nature. So just something to consider as far as a con. It is going to grow, so if you want to live in the suburbs, you could potentially get away with that, but it may potentially grow out to you in the suburbs as well. So another con is going to be public transportation. So as far as public transportation in the aspect of like buses and trains and things of that nature, it's not too popular in the city of Boise. There are some, but it's not up to par where the city has grown, to be honest. But in lieu of, there is things such as Uber, Lyft, and all those good things that they have now built to help you to get a ride around town. So now we dove into a little bit of the pros and the cons of living in Boise. Let's talk about things to do in Boise, Idaho. All right, so one thing that you can do is check out the old Idaho Penitentiary, where you can actually do a tour, and it's just a fun experience to go see the history of the penitentiary site, which is kind of spooky, but if you're into that stuff, then you'll probably enjoy it. Next, we have the Idaho Botanical Garden, which is just an amazing view. It's just awesome to kind of check out and see all the beautiful, nature around and what they're growing out there. So if that's something you're interested to, you can also check that out, and I highly recommend it. Also, we have the Boise Zoo. So if you have kids or if you like animals and you're a nature lover or animal lover yourself, then you can go check out the Boise Zoo. They do have a pretty large visiting site, so it's an awesome thing to do if you're into the zoo scene. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. Now, I know I mentioned this a couple times, but the Boise River Greenbelt is an absolutely must see. It's an amazing just little trail to kind of walk down. It's where a lot of people actually float their tubes as well during the summertime and ride their bikes, and there's just a lot of trails and things of that nature that you can enjoy as well. So if you're into scenery and seeing the water and just enjoy a peaceful ride, definitely recommend checking that out. I definitely recommend you guys checking out the Bogus Basin Ski Resort, because there's just things like the Bunny Hill, which if you're a starter snowboarder / skier, it's a fun trip to go down that and pick it up. Or you can go, up down the Black Diamonds and things of that nature if you're more experienced. So there's trails for every skill level up at Bogus Basin. Now, another place that you could check out is the Lucky Peak State Park, where, like I said, you could take your boat, you could take your jet skis, you can go water tubing, you can just go chill at the water, and it's just a good time, especially if you have family or friends that like to go out and barbecue and grill and all those things of that nature. Lucky Peak State Park is definitely a place I would check out. Now, Boise does also have its own national forest, so if you're into hiking in the woods or camping and things of that nature, Boise National Forest is an amazing spot as well that I would also check out. Now, if you're into the hockey scene, Idaho does have their own hockey team. The Idaho Steelheads do have their own stadium, and they do play here in the city of Boise. So if you like to go watch hockey games, get a couple tickets and go out there. It's always a good time. They always do little things in between the halftime shows to have a little more entertainment as far as what they may present, and you never know what type of opportunity you may have just going to check out a game. Now, to add to the sports category, you also have Boise State sports. So they have the basketball team, the golf team, the football team, just college sports in general. Boise State does have that to offer as well. And finally, the last thing to do I'm going to talk about is just going to be the Boise nightlife. So obviously the nightlife, you have the clubs, the bars, the brewery, all that good stuff. It's just a good time. And that pretty much wraps up some of the things to do. I didn't hit everything you could do because there's just so much to do, and I would be here forever if I talked about it. And now, guys, I'm just gonna mention it one more time. I am a licensed real estate agent. So as I said, as much as I love making these videos for you guys, I also would love to help you guys with your real estate needs. So like I said before, please feel free to reach out this phone number below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one.